blown up, basically. If you go Radiance first, right? Usually players will go like 2 braces Radiance, but maybe there's an armlet in between here. Maybe he goes BKB first. BKB obviously an incredible item against Liquid here. They kind of have very little to solve that until PL is farmed.
Or Mirana. Mirana does go hard right click these days. So, man, I love these loading screens. This is just a real dream. And then we get blessed with an older one here. No, this is a new one. Never mind. They're just not doing anything. There we go. Good job, Liquid. The thing I like about Liquid's drafting in general is even though you kind of know what players are playing what, you don't necessarily know what lanes. Like Koikva probably will go mid on Mirana, but we've seen them switch things up just because a lot of these players have just so much experience. Kind of with these flex picks to a degree. So, I mean, did we talk about the PL Shadow Demon combo, Cinderin? That's going to be kind of dirty. Getting extra illusions.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be something for later on that Flight of Moon have to be concerned about, but very early on, it's not that dangerous. Like, the illusions just get one-shot by Kunkka Cleave, right? So, but obviously once the farm comes in, definitely something to consider. And I would say more importantly, I think offensive disruption on Morphling is going to be more powerful because, like, eventually, if Flight of Moon initiate a fight and their morph gets disrupted, they have to kill those illus immediately, or they're going to kill his backline. They can just kill his own team. The PL illusions are not as powerful until they swarm.
Super value Shadow Demon game though.
Yeah, and they first picked it.
Very nice. Yeah.
So.
Well, sometimes you got to give something up to get what you want, Cinderin.
That is true.
They really wanted Morphling. Looks like Vtoon will be playing mid lane as the Morphling, so will not be. Oh, the Queen of Pain we already talked about being off lane this game for general. But Kunkka, okay, now Kunkka's going mid maybe. Are they? How are they doing this? Is he just blocking for him and TPing for Flight of Moon?
I think they're waiting to see the matchups, but I'm not sure what matchup they would want the morph against that could potentially be mid. Because I don't think Morph would want to lane against neither Mirana nor PL, right? I mean, maybe the PL matchup's good, but it's really good for Kunkka. No, he's just chilling. I guess he was... Maybe they were checking to see if there was an aggressive tri lane coming. And now that they showed PL and Venge top, he's like, okay, I can safely go bottom. That's probably what it was. They're just making sure they got the lane matchups they wanted. Okay. Morph against Mars Shadow Demon is pretty good after a couple of levels. I've played the matchup myself, Mars against Morph, quite a lot, and Mars loves this for the first few levels, and then he hates it. So you gotta put on the pressure as Boxy and Taiga in this lane. Morph is always a very bad hero, level 1 and 2. But Undying
Boxy and company, yeah. Undying is gonna go to town with Decay. This is his use in the game is to decay people early and then get copied by Morphling later on for that value second tombstone.
Spare me the tears.
I mean, we didn't really talk about overall lineup, Cinder. Who do you actually, what side do you like this time
It's
around?
pretty even. No really clear favorite. I don't feel like somebody made a massive oversight in the draft or got like 10th pick out drafted or something. Both teams have their own ways of winning with... Oh, hang on.
Boxy is
actually just gonna die
dead.
here?
Oh,
he's gonna die.
Another decay in 5 seconds.
One decay expired.
He is tangoing.
Okay, he could live.
Yeah, I could have sworn V2 was going to be in range for that last right click, but it wasn't to be this time. But either way, he's going to chase him off. Not going to expend the other decay, so we'll go back to lane as Vtoon forcing Taiga out as well. There's 2 stacks of Shadow Poison right now. So that is a good start for this lane for Flight of Moon. As Boxy again will continue to take decays. Has 1 mango on Always Wanna Fly, but the lane is pushing.
Yeah, but he has a stick too. So every time Taiga goes for these Shadow Poisons, he's actually just decaying his own Mars, right?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
It's kind of a problem. Like, he really needs these Shadow Poison uses to either come from Fog or to reach high stacks for it to be worth it to spam like this, but he kind of has to do it, right? Okay, that's 4 stacks. That's pretty good.
He does have 12 decay stacks, though, so we'll probably tank that up pretty nicely. That will probably be our first blood bottom, but while we have time, let's talk about the mid matchup, which is Koikva versus Iceberg, Mirana versus Kunkka. How do you like that hero versus hero matchup?
Pretty even, I would say. Mirana obviously has the range advantage and wants to trade hits a lot. Or, well, not trade, but rather just hit you all the time because she has that. Is it 630? It's 630 range. But in the meantime, Kunkka will get damage in with Tidebringers. He will secure CS very easily a lot of the time. So,
top lane, by the way, they are getting very low. The courier's going to be saved thanks to the magic missile. Insania taking heavy damage. Fable not enough to actually get the kill on Insania. Mickey is forced to use a salve in the meantime. A very close double kill there. But Liquid gets out with just a sliver of HP.
Yep.
I was going to turn the sights.
And something to keep in mind, of course, about this top lane is that the Queen of Pain matchup into PL, usually side lane Quap wants to dominate the lane by maxing Shadow Strike. But against PL, he will clearly skill a Doppelganger, and every time you Shadow Strike, he will just Doppelganger it off. So General is maxing out Scream of Pain here for the burst. And that might have caught them a little bit off guard there, just how much damage the Quap had on level 3. Might not have accounted for that. Getting a pull in here, but it's going to get stolen.
Oh, bottom lane, always want to fly. Getting a little bit low here. Disruption on to the Morphling, into the spear, into the trees. Oh! God, that burst damage. Soul Catcher. Not even needed, actually. Doesn't even have that leveled right now. He just blew up. Enough Shadow Poisons.
Yep. And this is, they can still do this for a bit, but it's going to get hard pretty soon. Oh,
always want to fly. My goodness. Miscalculated that, perhaps, or just wanted a free trip back to the fountain?
Was it free?
To some cultures, death is free, Cinderin. Oh, Morphling jumps in onto Boxy. He's going to get speared again into the trees. Going to continue the pressure, though, but looks like Liquid is very happy with this exchange. But there's the Soul Rip, getting V-Tune back to a nice state.
Yeah,
does not
they
have
should be
waveform
so
for
happy
3
to get
seconds.
2 kills, though. Like, I don't think they should have got these 2 kills bottom. Maybe the first one was a possibility. Like, until Morph is 5, there are kills. It's possible to get kills here, but after he's 5, it's definitely not the case. But I just thought Flight of Moon were off to such a great start in the lane that they probably wouldn't have happened. Okay, interesting.
Well, he just went
Send
in.
some back the other way.
Good to go.
It's so hard from the back on Mars. Mars has 3 armor, and obviously he hasn't skilled Bulwark, which I agree with in this lane. He has to go for the aggressive build. But it means when Morph gets on top of him and he doesn't have Spear, he is in trouble. Morph hits very, very hard right now.
Well, that cost him. Looking at the CS right now, Kunkka is leading the way, 35-4. Mirana not too far behind, so relatively even mid lane. Iceberg, of course, having the advantage of being able to X marks himself back into the fountain repeatedly, which I think he's done at least once, maybe twice.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Nice.
Let's take
Morph.
out the siege creep mid. We have another go on Morph, huh? Yeah, 4 stacks right now. So
Wait for him the 5th stack. Still gonna hurt, but
a little bit. He's up to strength. I always want to fly, just continuing the pressure though, trying to make as much space for the Morph right now. V-Tune sitting on 27 and 10 CS versus the PL, which is 35 and 8. So obviously Liquid getting the better exchange in that, despite kind of being on the back end in that top lane for a bit.
The trade-off is the offlaners though, right? Mars has 18 and Quap has 30. So while PL is doing well, so is the Queen. Doing quite a bit better than Mars. Currently 300 net worth ahead of him, and that is considering Mars also got a good kill, right? Like if this kill and assist bottom didn't happen for him, he would probably be 500 behind the Queen. So it's a give and take situation where I would say Flight of Moon overall should be pretty happy with this. All 3 of their cores are doing pretty well. Oh, always want to fly.
Like
force the Tombstone.
General. Okay, Tombstone placed. Always want to fly with 3 stacks of Shadow Poison. Boxy taking heavy damage in turn, but it looks like Always want to fly knows that he will die one way or the other. Question is, will there be an actual trade? Taiga looks like he'll live. No waveform for another 5 seconds. So again, better exchange here for Team Liquid.
Had the 10 sticks. Oh, and General even rotated and didn't get anything. He will get the Mars now, but if he has to Sonic for this, he's going to be really sad.
I don't think he needs to. He's got Scream up in just a moment. Just needs some vision. And down he goes eventually. General, though, is leveling quite nicely. Like you said, level 6, already has that Sonic Wave. So out-leveling the carry on Liquid. A lot of that, of course, has to do with Aloha Dance not really being in range for some of these big waves. But looking at Iceberg, I mean, no big surprise here. Actually, is Treads normal? I thought he was Phase Boots is the norm on this hero. He has Phase Boots queued up, but went Treads.
I don't really know what the trend is right now. If you buy one significantly more than the other, they have their own strengths, obviously. The Phase Boots giving the higher damage, but obviously a lot of tankiness on a hero like Kunkka pays double because of the Ghost Ship. So having more strength, it kind of depends how much magic and physical damage you're against. A lot of the time.
Torrent does connect on Insania in the mid lane. He'll be X marks back.
Sploosh.
A couple more right clicks. And don't ever say that again. Sploosh, seriously?
Yeah, he
This is a PG stream, Cinderin. Okay?
Sploosh? What?
You can say splash. Say it with me, splash.
Isn't there a game in Zelda called Sploosh Kaboom or something?
You're asking the wrong guy. I never played that game in my life.
I'm gonna go with Sploosh.
You're probably right, though. I mean, you're usually right in these scenarios, so just assume the best for yourself.
Yeah. I would trust myself over you any day. No offense.
I actually still remember the first time you corrected me about something that I was horribly wrong on, and it was the spelling of breathe.
Breath,
for some
fire.
reason. Yes. But it wasn't my fault because my teacher taught me that, Cinderin, okay? I vividly remember, unless it was a dream.
You should sue
Maybe
them.
life
You're
in general
American.
is
You
a
could
dream.
probably live your life off that.
Yes, that's what Americans love to do. Sue for literally no reason. General TPs
Yeah.
to the bot lane does have Sonic Wave available, but reinforcements smoked for Liquid are here. Little do they know, Quap has actually backed off, surprisingly enough. Not sure what that's all about.
Oh,
We're going to see a disruption
good
into the
tombstone.
spear, onto the Morph. Tombstone is down. Morphling taking heavy, heavy damage. Looks like he might live 3 stacks of Shadow Poison right now. As Insania, looks like we're going to have some TP support now from Iceberg himself. Koikva with plenty of leaps to get out to safety. General actually pumping his Sonic Wave, but not able to go through with it. We'll use it here. They'll find the Mirana first. Not able to kill anybody with that. But
Good cleave.
Iceberg, a nice out a second hero now. Finally, Boxy finds somebody with his rebuke, but it's a 3-for-1 triple kill for Iceberg. Really good rotation.
The biggest thing about this play was actually the positioning of Undying when it started. Let's see if Boxy gets out first, though. I think he will. General doesn't have
General, not much mana.
But so they kind of read that Liquid were going for this aggressive play, and Undying was in position again in front of Morph. So when Morph got disrupted, Koikva couldn't find a lineup for the arrow. Like Undying was just blocking the whole time, and then he puts down the Tombstone, and that starts being a distraction. Maybe even trying to block arrow with that as a possibility as well. It gives them ample time to bring in both Kunkka and Quap and use their obviously extremely powerful heroes right now for that. So that was very nicely done. And look at Iceberg just shooting up in net worth from that. Now he's 2k ahead of Koikva mid and level 11.
He is splooshing all over the place. Cinder and Iceberg, double bracer like we talked about. Very close to Sacred Relic, which of course means that he will be going for Rapier. Just kidding, it's Radiance. But very good against PL, and if he can get that really quick,
it's a super fast
snowball him, for sure.
Liquid kind of have to defend this mid tower. He's Koikva almost lost it here. It's 350 HP left, minute 11. And once the map opens up, this Radiant lineup can play super aggressive. When they get Radiant's Kunkka, they have Quap, Rubik. Oh, they're actually going to start on a mid.
X into Torrent. He does have 2 leaps available, so we'll be good to go. Has support from Boxy as well. But this is enough space for Iceberg to take out the tier 1 tower, so he'll be very happy with that.
Yeah, for sure.
I want to talk a little bit about Mirana because, as you know, I haven't been casting as much lately. Bottom lane, though, general. 4 stacks of Shadow Poison. Is that enough? How much damage is that? No, he should be fine. 130 HP. This item build on Mirana, we talked about it, how these days we're seeing a lot of just rush of MKB, and it looks like exactly what Koikva is going for. What is the reasoning for that over like some of the old items we used to see?
You get a lot of attack speed from Leap, obviously. And then the MKB proc is very powerful. And it pierces evasion, of course. So in the I guess part of it is just in this meta, it's very popular to buy, say, Halberd, He also knows he's playing against a Kunkka that will probably go Halberd or Radiance this game, so that's already value. Morph will want Butterfly at some point. And I think it's just like it's a damage equation thing. You could go Maelstrom with your attack speed, but if you hit an arrow, this gives you single target potential, right? You can kill the guy you arrow on your own, and that's really valuable compared to Maelstrom.
Top lane, by the way, Insania gets blown up, but it was a trade for a tier 1 bot, as nobody was there for Flight and Moon to defend. We haven't really talked much about Mikke, right, on this PL. He is closing in on his defusal, so it's not like the worst time, but looking at Iceberg, he is very close to finishing Radiance now. Mid lane, we're going to see some TPs. X marks the spot. Boxy is going to take the brunt of this damage in the form of the Shark into the Torrent now. Not sure they can actually get the kill.
I have another X and
Good
3.
cleave, but
nice spear.
Yeah, it just gets speared across the map. Looks like that'll break things up.
Did force 4 liquid heroes to show there, though. And this makes General feel very confident bottom, bullying Mickey away from CS. So they're taking all the small victories they can get, Flight of Moon, and so far it's ramped up to a 2k gold lead. I wonder like what the plan is for them here. I think they want to keep map controlling and fighting with 4 and just let Morph farm full on until he has the full on E-Blade, and then he's going to join, and that's when it gets really scary. So potentially could try to overwhelm them in fights by being 5, if they manage to find a fight, because Morphling's unlikely to join at the current point in time. But their waves are just being pushed very nicely. General going for the Necronomicon build. You have a Kunkka who's pushing out mega fast with his Sacred Relic. And the Morph took care of business top. He's rewarding himself with some jungle. And Insania has to show to clean up the trash, basically, top. And now Morph should go back up and shove it again. So, yeah, textbook from Flight of Moon here.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good right now. How important is it for them to start fighting once the Radiance is online? Or does that just accelerate your farm even more and you just try to take more farm on that? I mean, you have the, like you talked about, the Necro 1 on General. So we'll be farming the jungle and pushing out. What's that?
There's the 5-man smoke from Liquid. They're going to make a 5-man move now.
Okay.
They feel like there's not enough. They're not getting enough out of the map, and they hit an item timing with Diffusal and PL. So.
Well, they might get a courier if they want to
obviously
show themselves. Nope,
but they only got 1 for it.
Yeah, they might not even get a kill if V2 does have Ghost Scepter right now. He's going to run into Mars.
Oh my god!
The spear completely misses, though. Waveform.
Arrow misses.
Has not expended his TP. Yep, arrow misses as well. He is completely surrounded, and that is a very ambitious TP. Will get canceled. V-Tune. Oh, he does have another waveform, though. This is going to take a while. 4 stacks of Shadow Poison and 1 last right click from Quick. So they do find it. Took forever.
That's why they 5-man smoke. They knew they were going to miss half their spells. And then you have backup spell.
You know, obviously we can see everything. If he waveform TP'd, he's out of there, right? But I was not expecting that. X marks Shark, but Disruption.
Nice disruption.
Does cancel it. Insania. Nicely played overall. There's the spear onto the Kunkka. It does have the Radiance online now, by the way. The Tombstone decimated in quick succession. There's now Iceberg on the left. 5 stacks of Shadow Poison. Oh, gonna get healed up a huge cleave as Insania is gonna get turned around on. It's gonna be a trade. Venge for Undying. So not exactly what either team was looking for, but
yeah. And I think Insania was not expecting to die to Undying there because nobody knows how Undying ulti works. So probably thought he was fine.
Is this a reference to me talking about that?
It's a reference to myself too, not gonna lie.
Okay,
when we were talking about it, I don't remember when we were talking about it, if it was like a month ago or something. I thought it worked differently than it did.
Oh, I didn't even notice. So
yeah.
I guess we're both at fault. I mean, I stand by what I said, though. It's one of the few, maybe Terrorblade is another one, heroes where his ultimate just doesn't feel like an ultimate. It's more like Tombstone is. General.
Sunder is pretty... It's a pretty good spell. Let's be honest.
It's more situational than meta, though. Meta is like god tier. That is a normal ultimate,
that is true.
Wouldn't you say?
That is true.
But of course,
yeah, you could argue that you could... I actually think I might have suggested that a long time ago to rework.
Let's be real. Terrorblade, it used to be his ultimate. It's actually flip-flopped, I believe, 4 times literally in the past 15
When was
years.
Meta his ulti the last time? That is very long ago.
It was before Dota 2. That's true. But I promise you it changed like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
are
It does
scattering.
feel like an ulti, doesn't it? Like, just in concept. You
No, of
turn into
course.
this massive demon, just like in Shapeshift or Dragon Knight ulti. But maybe that's the reason they wanted to not be an ulti, so that it's
Sunder
unique
used to
in that
be
sense.
life leech as well.
That's
Used to be
true. Oh,
completely
that was
different.
so broken. We could run with that in laning stage. Oh my
Yeah, that was
god,
great.
you remember that?
There's like a
When it
little
wasn't
Pugna
channeling?
leech while you run away.
Holy shit, that version of TV was
Oh,
so broken.
perfect
You
timing
just
for-
reminded me.
They know we're talking about old concepts here, so this is a perfect pause. Thank you.
Yeah, so let's
Whoever
play an old
paused.
game. Musical chairs was invented in the 20s.
I need to look this up now.
Around the same time the chair was invented, so it only makes sense.
Chair definitely did not exist before that. At least it wasn't patented, right?
Right.
That's for sure. It's all about the patents. That's how Apple survives every day, Cinder, is taking other people's ideas and patenting them. You know?
Yeah. Don't you love it?
No.
Okay.
All right, let's do some item updates while we wait. V-Tune, as we know, is going for the E-Blade. Still a decent a ways away, about it's only 1100 actually for that Eagle song to finish that bad boy up. Do you think that's the item timing that they're waiting for, or is it, I guess, the combination of that and Iceberg's BKB are probably the next big power spikes?
Yeah, both of those. They're probably going to overlap almost, aren't they? That would be perfect. How far is he away from BKB? He needs about 2k and a bit on Kunkka, and Morph needs 1500. Oh, sorry, 1100 only actually. So yeah, somewhat same timings, like 2 minutes apart. It depends on their read on the game at the time. Like when Morph gets the E-Blade, he gets really strong. So if they're feeling it, they can go force a fight. They have the choice of waiting another 2 minutes, because looking at Liquid, it's not like Liquid's going to take the fight to them and really force them to fight back, right? Like, I think Liquid, because their last 5-man smoke didn't really bring much success with it, and the fight that they took on their side of the
Dire's
jungle
courier has
ended up
been
in a draw. I think they might be a little bit hesitant to just flat out run at the enemy team. It is really a very, very strong Radiant they're facing right now. General knows he's safe here. Just toy with him a bit, blink out. Got the mech.
And Mickey right now, he does have the hood, I believe. Actually, the courier was killed with the hood on it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So we'll have to wait on that. Basically, I'm assuming that's just because of the shotgun morph not wanting to be just blown up in every single scenario. But by the time these items come online for Flight of Moon, Koifa will have that MKB. It's bottom lane, always want to fly. Looks like he'll find his way to the grave.
And they got the arrow now as well, top. It's a general. Ooh. 2 big kills. Wow. Oh, well, 1 big kill and 1 undying kill. But it's 2 kills.
Well, Undying does have a large model. Does that count for anything?
He didn't ulti,
It's a big kill. True. He needs to ulti to have a big
Oh, Insania. Nice move from V2 in here. Should give him this kill. Turned into the Venge. Got his stun. Started out with the Adaptive Strike Strength.
Top tower
And stole an arrow.
Will go down eventually. Oh, wasting as much time as possible. He's doing a wonderful job at that.
Yeah.
V2 will claim it for himself.
Radiant's top
But
tower.
all
Mickey
this
also
while,
gets
Cinder
top
in
tower,
tier 1
yeah.
top. Yeah.
Radiant's
And a
courier
courier.
has been
Ooh,
This has
whose
been a
courier was
really
that?
nice minute for Liquid. They pulled back their advantage from Flight Moon by 2k and found kills, tower, as well as getting some important map control. Getting this top tier 1 tower and starting to push in this gives them access to the triangle. Mid lane could be dangerous though, Koikva.
Could be. Mars ult on top of Kunkka right now. Arrow's going to completely whiff. Actually, that was stolen from Aloha Dance. Looks like the Mars ult was used to very little avail, as he's going to now be turned around, and that's going to be an easy one for Flight of Moon. By the way, that courier that was killed was V-Tunes, but he did not buy the Eagle song with it, so has to go purchase that manually.
Yeah.
Does have enough to do that now.
Oh, they see Koikva.
Moonlight Shadow, they see him. Arrow misses again, but
no risks taken there. Mickey?
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
They are hesitant here, Flight of Moon. It is, of course, a dire outpost, so they could buy back TP in the Mirana. And their Morph is on the other side of the map, hitting golems, so they play it safe.
The Arrow is, even though he hasn't hit these, it's really good pickup, especially with the Aether Lens.
They just got?
Telekinesis into Arrow every single time if you want. Of course, the range is
got
not
so
even
much
with
gold
Aether
for that. Wait, what the hell?
Disruption in the mid lane. Aloha Dance looks like he's going to say goodbye to his Arrow.
A moment ago, it was a 2k lead, and now it's 6, and they've only got 2 bounty runes so far, so if Liquid trade evenly here, might pull it back to a 4k. But the most important thing right now is Rubik's dead. They're going to go aggressive
the swap
mid.
onto Iceberg. He's going to use his boat immediately. That means he's virtually unkillable, at least for this duration.
In the meantime,
Find the
Mickey
Undying again on the backside. Very sloppy play from Flight of Moon. Iceberg stunned up next to the tier 1 tower. Is going to get initiated on by Mickey with that diffusal blade, and they will melt through him and will likely get this tier 1 tower as well. So just death after death, one by one from Flight of Moon.
Well, they got caught a bit with their pants down there, and they still don't have the E-blade, right? So you're just not ready. Undying gets run at by PL.
I mean, that's the thing.
It's an
He's
awful
had money
matchup.
for it for like 2 minutes now.
Yeah, he's not really wanted to go to buy it because maybe they were worried about map control in the area, that he would go through wards from Liquid. Many heroes were missing. You're playing against Moonlight Shadow. It's dangerous. So played it safe. Now eventually does go and get it now that they showed their faces mid, but cost them quite a lot. Has it now though, so we'll see. But this is going to be how most fights are going to go down. Mickey will doppelganger in and run at the Undying and kill him. Every fight, probably. He just kills this guy. Straight up. There's no really easy solution for Flight of Moon, except if the Kunkka is in the perfect position together with Block.
Top lane, the blink out from Boxy. My goodness. If only Undying came with a stun, he could do something about this. But he will decay and run away in shame, knowing that he picked Undying.
You're such a hater. Here's the smoke from Liquid. So
5-man smoke as well. Mickey very close to finishing the Manta style. It's going to be a Moonlight Shadow now. They want a bigger kill than this Undying, but they'll find him. And
not bad.
They'll have to be happy with that.
That was nice from Flight of Moon. Or, well, from Always Wanna Fly, rather. I think he had the read that this was happening, and he throws in his body for information. This is very good. Because now when they spawn, they can take initiative. They know there's no Moonlight Shadow now, and that's a pretty big deal for the upcoming fight. There's not that movement speed bonus. There's not the surprise factor. You can try to take the initiative now with something like Kunkka X Mark, or maybe your Rubik can get a lift with Lens, and then Liquid's escape plan is a lot harder to execute. So I would love to see Flight of Moon take initiative right now.
We talked about the item timing. So the E-Blade obviously online. Kunkka just got his BKB, so that should be the going point here. Yes, Greaves are finished, although
good items.
General is not really close to this smoke gank. Let's see if he ends up
It's the leap opener.
It's like telekinesis. Oh, nice disruption. Always Want to Fly is going to pop his ult. Do you notice it? No, because E-Blade does enough damage, Cinder, and Morphling is too good. They're going to continue on. Always Want to Fly is going to get stunned up. Mickey. Doppelgang's up. Just diffusing all that mana. Has his Manta style now online. X marks the spot into the boat. Doppelganger in just a moment. He's going to get stunned up. Takes very little damage. Doppelgang's out. Looks like the Mars ult is going to be used to very little effect here as Iceberg BKB showing that off for the first time. Mirana is the only death in this fight thus far, but very little mana on the side of Flight of Moon. Iceberg is basically it. Always Want to Fly. Looks like he's going to sacrifice his body for the betterment of society, and it looks like Iceberg is next on the list, so Liquid coming out on top, a 2-for-1 as they will continue to chase. Looks like V-Tune will probably get out as the blink already expanded. Oh!
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
That's a kill with Allaince.
on Boxy?
Yeah, if he had Lens, that was a kill. He could have pinned him.
Oh, they're going to get a Roche. I think they're pretty happy with that exchange.
I feel like it's a bit naive. You can see where they're coming from trying to go for the PL there because Doppelganger's already used, but you're still playing into Disruption and Swap, and you're diving behind the mid-tier 2 tower and you've already used Ghost Ship. So the ship expires, Liquid just regroup, and they play PL like you're supposed to play PL in this kind of fights, weaving in and out, buying time. And once the cooldowns are expended, Flight of Moon, they're just out of juice. There's no Tombstone, there's no Sonic Wave, there's no Kunkka Boat, and PL was still way above half health, so he was super fine with his hood build, Manta Diffusal. It's starting to look really grim for the Radiant, actually, at this point. This is the state of the game, or the part of the game, rather, where they should have been winning. And Liquid just equalized it. Aegis on PL, he's getting big. Looking at a Scotty currently. That's his next
that should be a nice, juicy pickup for him.
I wonder why he likes Scotty over Abyssal here. It seems like a really good Abyssal game.
It's that it's the regen, negative regen, Cinder, and against Undying. Oh my god, that's so good.
I guess it's pretty good against Morphling's attribute shift.
That too. I should have said that first. Oh, Mirana bottom lane. All right. That was way too easy. I mean, he doesn't have BKB yet, of course, so is susceptible. Not sure if that would have mattered in that case, though. The initiation from Aloha Dance. Very nice.
Yep.
I mean, right now, Mirana is not feeling like your second carry, as it were, right? As you typically would see. It's basically PL is monstrous, and then there's everybody else on the team that's just kind of there. But I think the downfall of Fly to Moon so far, of course, it's not out of reach yet since they are still technically winning on a net worth perspective, but they gave up those 3 kills one by one, which turned into a tier 1 tower, and then the next big fight after that was the Roshan fight. So,
oh,
kind of the big turnaround. Oh, they're going to find him. And the Mars ult used to take out Undying, so that's 2 supports easily cleaned up, as PL is now on a killing streak. As you can tell, a very glowy figure.
I very much agree. Like, Fly to Moon actually had like a 6k gold lead, and then they had 3 heroes get picked off one by one, and they lost their Morph Courier, which delayed his E-Blade by 2 minutes. Even though he hadn't bought the Eagle Song, like you said, maybe Fly to Moon could have escorted him there to get it. Because they kind of missed the timing in the game where they would have been insanely powerful. And Liquid just took huge advantage from... they just took full advantage of it. Swung the game, and now this... Those are the 2 moments for me. That one with the 3 deaths, and then the dive behind the mid tier 2 is really what has put Liquid in a good spot in the game. And both things, Fly to Moon had a decent amount of agency over, to be honest. It was definitely something they could have controlled a lot better.
Oh, Undying just found his item, Cinder, and Craggy Coat. It's what he's always wanted in life.
I was like, I'm going to check his inventory. What did he buy? What value did he get? I thought you're like, oh, buckler.
He found it in the jungle. Well, somebody found it in the jungle. I don't know what they're doing with it yet.
We'll
see. Maybe it's not. Maybe he doesn't even want it.
It's on Rubik. That's what I thought. It's good on Rubik as well.
Okay.
But there's something to be said about putting it on Undying as well. Armor is very cost efficient on this hero because you get health from your ulti. But yeah.
Oh, they're going to run it. Oh, Insania getting blown up. But looks like Shadow Demon's going to save him for now. Sonic Wave into 3 heroes as the Mars ult commences. Morphling getting very low. This will be a huge kill. And it starts off with just that trade that Liquid was wanting, as a Tombstone will be taken out very quickly. So it's a 2-for-1. Undying Morph for Venge. They'll take that any day of the week.
Why are they initiating a team fight with their Kunkka in the other side of the map in the jungle? I feel like he's way too integral right now. I mean, yeah, Mirana was also missing for Liquid, but I think Kunkka plays a way bigger role for his team than Mirana does for hers right now. Taking a team fight like that without Kunkka, it's easy for us to say. We see the whole map, right? But if you look at the state of the game and what time it is, I think Kunkka needs to be involved. When they make any team move, he needs to be there to be a part of that. That was extremely costly. Now they might lose Quap as well if Tiger... Oh, almost got him.
No Aether Lens for Shadow Demon. Does have the cast range count, but it's only 75. So, of course, once he gets this Blink Dagger, which will be very shortly, he'll be able to make moves like that much easier. Titan Sliver now. Picked up for Fly to Moon. That's a really good Morphling item. Holy crap. I'm going to see X onto Boxy, but there's a disruption again. These disruptions have been on point for Taiga. He's going to get swapped by Insania. They're going to try to turn this around onto the Queen of Pain, who's pinned into the arena, into the arrow. No chance to do anything. Always want to fly. Always want to die, more like it. A 2-for-0. And this is just snowballing out of control for Liquid, Cinderin.
Yep. It's a great position on the map for them to play with their Aegis advantage as well. Getting up here as Radiant in general is very difficult. But when you're also fighting into Aegis, when the enemy team is... Oh no, they're going to lose Aloha Dance as well. They're just hemorrhaging kills.
It's a 1-by-1 save your friend syndrome. Sounds like the Aegis has been taken back from Roche, but it matters not. Another support kill and another tower more than likely.
It kind of feels like Fly to Moon just lost focus a little bit at one point. It's almost like it happened right after the pause, basically. We had this short pause for like 30 seconds, and then since then it's been going a bit downhill. I'm not going to blame the pause, though. It's not the point.
I think they were listening to the stream on delay, of course, and they were just so shocked during the pause about our revelations about Terrorblade and his history in Dota. I mean, he used to be the brother of Anti-Mage. That's no longer as well. That's another thing we could have brought up. And it just completely changed their mindset, Cinder, and it blew their mind.
The prize is
so because he's not the brother anymore, we needed the new female Anti-Mage disciple, so that
that's right.
Anti-Mage has somebody for his narrative. So that's good.
I wonder if part of that lore would be Terrorblade's sister. That would be actually a great nod to Dota 1. It's always one of Fly is going to die again. Tombstone taken out very quickly.
She was an agent all along. Terror was like, go get trained by AM.
I wish I knew more about lore.
That's some medieval times espionage.
All right, tell me. I understand that Nethershall is really... okay, I guess I understand. I mean, 25% magic resist is huge. 8% spell damage is great. And the minus armor makes literally no difference on the hero like Morphling.
Radiant's bottom tower
I guess in any
is
other
under
game,
attack.
Titan Sliver would be the choice in that case, right? It's on Kunkka right now. But I feel like percentage-based items, percentage-based anything on Morphling is god
Radiant's
tier.
bottom tower
Yeah,
has
I
fallen.
don't know if the shawl is better than Paladin Sword at this point, to be honest. Like, what's the
You
big
take
magic
Paladin
burst
Sword
you're
over
scared of?
Sliver?
No, over the shawl, because they have a Paladin Sword too, right? He's going to take Quickening. No, wait, it's going to somebody else. Sliver
play
on
musical
Kunkka
chairs,
versus
so now they're
Morph,
playing
it's very
musical
good on
items.
both. I get what you mean, because when Morph has a lot of agility, obviously the base damage increase is insane from the Sliver, but maybe the status resistance here, the expectation is that Kunkka will be taking more stuns, and Morph will be playing around them a bit better because of mobility. With his BKB now finished, could be a chance here. But it's definitely looking very grim. Liquid are in firm control of the game, with or without Aegis. PL now has Scotty. They need to get through 3,000 HP, and they have a little Allaince again.
He's literally surrounded.
Yep.
Jesus. Disruption plus PL on the other side, you have no escape.
Radiant's
It doesn't
middle
have a
tower is
force
under
or anything
attack.
like that. It just has the blink dagger, so ultra aggressive in terms of item build.
Radiant's
And that is a
middle
tier 2
has
tower for
fallen.
Liquid, as here we go again. All right, let's do some more Dota 2 trivia. If you're listening, Fly to Moon, maybe you can reverse your fortune by hearing some amazing Dota 1 mechanics that have changed. Let's see if I can think of one. Hold on. I'm just looking at the heroes in the game, how they changed since Dota 1. We already talked about Undying to Death. Morphling's not interesting. He was basically the same. I mean, he was similar from the original
So
Dota 2
in
concept.
Dota 1, Kunkka could only Tidebringer enemy creeps. In Dota 2, at one point he could Tidebringer denies, and then he couldn't anymore. Or was that the whole time? How long was it? Was it he couldn't, then he could, then he couldn't? Or was it he could the whole time until he couldn't?
There's too many options, Cinderin. I
Could
don't
you
even
deny
understand your
with
question
Tidebringer
anymore.
all the Dota 2 history until it got removed?
I remember Dota 1 for sure. You could do that. Dota 2.
So there's a difference
I
there.
feel like, yeah, beginning of Dota 2, you could do that as well. I guess that's probably fair.
Yeah.
What did PL's skill used to be before Doppelganger? Was it like just his ult and juxtapose were
He had
separated into multiple skills?
He had the old was it his second spell? Wasn't that one called Juxtapose, where he just became invisible and spawned one illusion?
Oh yeah, that was so bad. I hated
Was that what it was
that
call?
spell.
Was that called Juxtapose? No, it wasn't, right?
No, I don't even think it was called Doppelganger.
Was it called?
Or maybe it was.
No,
maybe it was
nah, I don't
Doppelganger.
remember.
I don't know.
It's had different iterations, actually. I think there's even been another iteration that I don't.
But he didn't
remember.
have Phantom Rush. That was a passive as well. I think it was some sort of passive.
Yeah, he had something else than Phantom Rush as well. Man, that hero has actually been changed quite a lot.
I don't even remember.
But
Shockingly.
in Dota 1, Mars was one of the trees in the forest, and now he's a hero.
Maybe he was one of the trees in the forest, like in the top left.
No, yeah, he was just one of the trees. There was a tree on the map called Mars, if you moused over it.
Are you trolling me?
No.
You're trolling me. That doesn't even make any sense, Cinderin.
Well, in order for it to be a change, he had to be in the game, right? Or I can't just... I'm not going to be talking about a change if
All
I
right,
say
how about-
in Dota
okay,
1
well,
it wasn't there and now it is. You know, that's
Yeah,
not a change.
Mars was not a hero in Dota 1. I don't know if you guys know this. That is trivia number 2 today. So you can use that on your friends. All right, what else we got? There's got to be some interesting ones. Venge, I feel like very little... Here's a great trivia. Talents were not a thing in Dota 1. I don't know if you guys know this.
Including
This is
on
a
Venge.
relatively... Yes, Venge did not have talents either, in addition to no talents being in the game.
Vengeance aura used to only be damage. Now it's primary attribute and attack range.
Yeah, that's very recent, though.
Venge used to
God.
not spawn an illusion when she died.
These are actually way worse. Than I
Nether
thought, I'm
Swap
not
used to
gonna lie.
have 1 charge.
Venge used to be fun to play. How about stuff like that?
That could
PL
be said
has
about a
always
lot of
been
heroes this patch.
PL has always been an absolute piece of garbage to play against. That has never changed, which is unfortunate because the concept is cool. All right, here's some trivia. Shadow Demon, when first introduced in Dota 1, was a mid hero. He was played mid competitively. What do you remember about him, Cinderin?
Shadow Demon mid?
Yeah.
What do I remember about him? He had the same spells, pretty much.
Why was he mid? That's what I'm asking.
I don't know.
God, you're supposed to be the analyst. All right, I'll play the analyst role. He was mid because people were really, really bad back then, and they didn't know
great
what
analysis.
should be good.
I should have definitely. I should have
That's
said
why
that.
Lion was mid, Lich was mid, Shadow Demon mid. Guys, just think about how god awful that was to play.
Sunsfan, we're being corrected by chat. They obviously have delay. The PL second spell is called Double Walk. That's right. It's
Oh,
called
yeah,
Double
that's
Walk.
right. Yeah, good call, guys. That is true.
I totally forgot that because, like everybody else except 5 people, I hated the hero, so I didn't really play it.
Did you guys know that Shadow Walk was on several heroes, and it was also called Shadow Walk on every hero? Gondar,
Dire are scanning.
Clinks, and I think one more, probably. Taiga is going to find a
Probably not.
disruption here into the era, but no, V-Tune pops the BKB. That is I believe, 10 seconds, indeed.
I think it's.
They know that's down.
I think it's impossible. This is one of those mechanics, right? Where if you get disrupted and there's an arrow on top of you, you can still BKB if you mash it. Then you get it off every time, even if the arrow is perfect. So V-Tune getting out there because of that. But yeah, they forced the BKB, which is obviously great. 10-seconder, like you said, and Roche is up. So maybe this prompts Liquid to, if not go for Roche, then start playing in the area with the smoke and look for a kill. Insania already has it ready. He's pushing out mid. By the way, has a lot of net worth for a 5. We haven't really talked about that this game, but he has Helm of the Dominator and Vlad's for his team, 2 insane auras, and a Wolf Creep. So he's a huge boon for his squad. Even if he dies, he does so much.
We have a
that's
smoke
something
here
that-
from Fly to Moon. General is somewhat baiting, but it looks like nothing will come of that initially. Basher now online for McKay. So I say online, it's on his courier, so it's being delivered right now. But he is looking virtually unkillable. Once this Abyssal comes up, which I assume that's what he will upgrade next. Good lord.
Abyssal, AC on the Mars. So Liquid have so many auras, right? Wolf aura, Vlad's aura,
Radiant are scanning.
the Dom.
Oh, we're going to have the Mars
they got the
ult.
opening on Kunkka.
Kunkka is going to be their opening kill potentially. He doesn't even have Radiance on right now. It's still disabled from that gank attempt. Iceberg getting extremely low. Might get out, swapped back into death, but nope. Soul Rip will keep him healthy for now, but finally goes down. That is a huge kill to start this fight. Looks like E-Blade was not enough to get an actual kill. Double kill for Koikfa as we have another pause. So back to trivia we go. Did you guys know in Dota 1 that Roshan had the Aegis, of course, but you could also buy the No, wait, he dropped cheese.
He didn't have Aegis.
He dropped cheese, right?
He didn't drop cheese either.
Oh, he didn't drop
Cheese didn't
anything?
exist. There was a version where you could buy Aegis, and it came with 3
Yeah,
charges,
3
and it
charges.
gave armor and magic resist, and it was undroppable. So when it ran out of charges, you just had a dead inventory slot with armor and magic resist.
Wait, what
And
did
then
Roshan
if you bought a
drop
second
then?
one, huh?
What did Roshan
He didn't drop anything. He gave 800 gold per player in the killing team. He was worth 4k gold, but he was really strong.
Wow, I
Yeah,
don't even
Aegis got
remember
introduced later, and then the bounty, I think, of Roche was... I think in the same patch, Roche's bounty was reduced to... I want to say 200 per player, but it might still have been a bit more. And then cheese came later. That's how I remember it, at least. But man,
All right, another trivia.
That's
In Heroes of Newerth, Cinderin. Never mind. As we're going to be unpausing here. Always want to fly. Looks like he's probably going to go down here. So it's a 3-4. Was a Vengeful Spirit.
Worthy tribute.
Koikfa with that double damage. So Roche will likely fall now next.
I think I can
this is
finish
just getting-
your thing from before about... You called it Shadow Walk, right? It was called Wind Walk in Dota 1. But
Yep.
Bounty Hunter had it. What was the other one you said?
Clinks.
Klink's had it. Shadow Blade, called Lothar's, but I think the ability was called Windwalk.
Lothar's. Okay.
And I think the Brewmaster ulti, Storm Panda, also had Windwalk. So it was four things called Windwalk in the game.
That's right. I don't know why I said Shadow Walk. You're right. It was Windwalk. I mean, that was from Warcraft 3, though. I believe whoever the Juggernaut character was, original Warcraft 3 hero, that had Windwalk, I believe.
Yeah, true.
Radiant's
Oh,
middle
that's
tower
not a
is
good
under
TP.
attack.
He has to cancel that one on
cancels it.
Rubik.
Radiant's
Oh boy.
structures are fortified.
And
He has
now
to
he
walk
is
all
top
the way
lane.
from top.
Structures
Oh,
are
no.
Yeah.
fortified.
You've done nothing.
Well, that will cost them at the very least a tower, although I don't know if his presence would have made a difference. And it's going to be a 3 racks, essentially.
Radiant's middle
'cause
barracks.
Kunkka
Yeah,
is
they're going to
still
keep
not
going.
back.
They have Aegis cheese, all their auras. Koikva even backpacking the cheese instead of an empty bottle. That's a manly play. It's a hardcore play.
Is under attack.
Yeah.
Radiant's
In
bottom
Dota 1,
tower
there didn't
has
used to
fallen.
be bottle until much later in the game.
Yeah.
Very good trivia during the game. You guys like during game trivia? As always, one apply going to take the brunt of the damage from Mickey. Still has the Aegis intact, and there's the Basher going to town on him. Does get slowed enough for him to back up, but of course, this is a second Rax at the end of the day. Aegis still
nice
online.
spear.
Oh, nice spear into the tree. They're going to go onto this Morph lane. It's going to be close before this poke comes in. It does connect at the last second, but he is finally taken out. Does have buyback if he wants to use it. Aegis has been expended. A trade Liquid will take. No doubt about it.
Radiant's bottom barracks
And that is a second Rax, and GG is called for game 1 of this best of 3 between Liquid and a Fly to Moon, Cinderman.
And now we have to see going into game 2 how Fly the Moon adjusts, right? I like talking about this when there's a team that's lossless in a tournament. Like, you've won 2 series.